Cross River State Governor Basi Otu has urged Nigerians, particularly those residing in Cross River State, to welcome the year 2025 with optimism. In a New Year message made public in a press statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Nsa Gil, on Wednesday, Otu urged all Nigerians to embrace this new year with hope. He said the Cross River State government has laid crucial foundations for prosperity and economic rebirth with different programs and policies spreading across sectors such as agriculture, industries and investment drives that will bring about growth and progress in the state. The governor maintained the importance of looking towards the future with a positive mindset, while adding that it's a driving force to bring about growth and progress in the nation. Speaking of the vast natural resources, the diverse culture and the resilient spirit of Nigerians and people in the state, the governor restated that it was important for everyone to be encouraged to tap into the potential and programs of Cross River State government to work towards a brighter and more prosperous future for the state and the nation. The governor also stressed the importance of unity and collaboration in achieving goals, stressing that it was only through collective effort that progress could be made and the residents could overcome challenges. Delta State government has assured residents that they can expect more democracy dividends in 2025. The government noted that it would not only intensify its commitment to improving the lives and living standards of Deltans, but also continue its effort to enhance the state by delivering impactful, enduring projects across the 3 senatorial districts, bringing more joy and positivity to local communities. This was conveyed in a New Year message signed by the State Commissioner for Information, Dr. Ifeanyi Osuoza, copies of which were made available to journalists in Warri on Wednesday. The governor called on all Deltans and residents not only to expect more from the MORE agenda, but also to continue supporting the administration by embracing unity and harmonious coexistence as the state confidently enters the new year. Abia State Governor Alex Oti has stopped all forms of payments in public, primary and secondary schools in the state, including Parents-Teachers Association levies. This is even as the law mandating all children of school age to be in school every school day has come into effect from January 1, 2025. These were contained in a New Year broadcast the governor made to the Abia people on Wednesday. According to Oti, as soon as the new school term begins later in the month, it will be unlawful to find any child outside the walls of the classroom during school hours. He disclosed that an Impress account system for the running of schools have been introduced for head teachers and school principals to manage the day-to-day operations of their schools, warning that no child should be extorted or denied opportunities to education. He reiterated that retired workers in the state would always be paid their monthly pensions first before any serving office holder is allowed to receive his or her salary. No fewer than 3 persons sustained varying degrees of injury on Tuesday night in a collision involving a trailer, a Toyota Camry and a Lexus car on the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. The unit commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, Mr. Williams Manga, confirmed the incident in an interview with the newsmen in Badagry on Wednesday. He said 5 persons were involved in the accidents, but 3 of them sustained varying degrees of injury. The commander added that the injured persons were taken to the Lagos State Mobile Clinic for treatment. The accident was due to a loss of control and lack of concentration while on the expressway. According to Manga, he said the 3 vehicles involved in the accident had been removed from the expressway. The FRSC unit commander appealed to passengers to always caution drivers against speeding, urging motorists plying the road to also be conscious of their speed on the 1-lane expressway. Governor Ademola Adeleke has promised a renewed focus on soft infrastructure in the 2025 fiscal year after a relentless 2 years of infrastructural upgrades in the state. Governor Adeleke made this known in his New Year address to people of Osun State and residents on Wednesday. The governor, who recalled the many advances of his administration across various sectors, noted that the year will witness both new initiatives and the continuation of existing social programs designed to cushion the effects of hard times on the people of the state, while assuring the completion of all ongoing projects and new ones listed in the 2025 budget. Governor Adeleke emphasized that his only motivation will continue to be the well-being of the good people of Osun State, promising to remain as before a responsive, listening and compassionate governor. The governor, who further extended an olive branch to members of opposition parties, affirmed that he has kept faith with his pledge for transparency and accountability in the state governance. He noted that in the last 1 year, we received and processed several requests for information based on the Freedom of Information Act. Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has approved 8 billion for the payment of outstanding pensions and gratuities owed to retired primary school teachers and other civil servants in the state. The governor announced the approval on Wednesday at the council chamber of the government house in Maiduguri, stating that the 8 billion naira would cover liabilities accrued from 2019 to 2021. It may be recalled that in June and September 2019, the governor released 3 billion naira to clear gratuities for 1,684 retirees who left the civil service between 2013 and 2019. Additionally, over 12 billion naira was disbursed into 2020 to retirees who left both state and local government service between 2013 and 2017. Meanwhile, Zulum assured that his administration would settle all outstanding gratuities and pensions before the end of his tenure in 2027. He said, "Inshallah, I will clear all the backlog of gratuities before I leave office in 2027. Minister of the Nigerian Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Nyesom Wike, has assured the residents that the administration remains steadfast in its determination to transform the nation's capital into one of the best capital territories in the world. Wike stated this in his New Year message to the residents in a statement he personally signed and made available to journalists in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. The minister said all these collective dreams of a thriving and prosperous FCT can only be achieved by supporting His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and working together in unity and cooperation. The minister also expressed his heartfelt gratitude to the residents for cooperating with the administration in implementing its policies and programs. He noted that their support and understanding have driven the administration's vision for a better FCT. He commended the commitment of the residents towards a peaceful coexistence and care for each other through the past year. He explained that these accomplishments demonstrate the collective effort and commitment to building a prosperous, unified, progressive FCT. The minister urged residents of the FCT to also recognize that sustainable development requires the active participation of all residents. He urged them to meet their civic obligations by paying taxes, dues and levies as applicable, as these are essential for generating the revenue needed to fund developmental projects. Wike then called on the residents to remain committed to ensuring that the FCT continues to stand as the proper center of unity, upholding the dreams of the founding fathers. The world in celebrating the dawn of 2025, Kebbi State Governor Dr. Nasir Gwandu has emphasized the importance of peace, unity and harmonious coexistence for the country's collective progress. In his New Year message to the people of Kebbi State, the governor urged citizens to embrace peace and mutual respect regardless of ethnic, religious or cultural differences. He highlighted that Nigeria's diversity is a strength meant to foster unity and not division. Governor Idris stated, "God has created us with various backgrounds to bring us closer together as a united people. Let us use our differences as a source of strength and unity." Idris has also assured the people of Kebbi State that in 2025, his administration will bring increased development and empowerment initiatives aimed at improving livelihoods across the state. Yobe State Police Command said it has succeeded in prosecuting 454 criminal cases in 2024, while probing 116 cases more. The command's public relations officer, DSP Dungus Abdul Karim, revealed this in a statement issued on Wednesday, highlighting the command's significant milestone in its fight against crime in the state in 2024. According to him, the command had adopted new strategies aimed at protecting vulnerable groups from harm, resulting in a decrease in sexual-related offenses. Similarly, 17 cases of unnatural offenses were recorded and are being thoroughly investigated and prosecuted. Abdul Karim added that the command, through the PPRO, restated its commitment in ensuring the safety and security of all residents across the state, noting that this commitment is reflected in the command's efforts to sustain its successes and build on its achievement in 2025. The command also acknowledged the collaboration and cooperation of the members of the public and enjoined them to continue with the efforts. You're watching the Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We'll return after this break.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Welcome back. This is Atlantic Television Network Transition. Now the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu says his government will unveil the National Values Charter already approved by the Federal Executive Council in the first quarter of 2025. The president said this in his New Year message to Nigerians on Wednesday. According to him, the charter will promote mutual commitments between the government and citizens and foster trust and cooperation among a diverse population and between the government and the citizens. He also urged governors and local council chairpersons to work closely with the central government to seize emerging opportunities in agriculture, livestock and tax reforms and move the nation forward. Tinubu urged Nigerians to become better citizens and uncompromising in their devotion and allegiance to the country to achieve national goals and objectives. He said citizens' moral rectitude and faith in the country were fundamental to the success of the renewed hope agenda. Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kalu, has reiterated the 10th House Representatives is poised to work tirelessly to address the pressing issues that affect Nigerians, from economic development and job creation to healthcare, education and national security. Honorable Kalu, who gave the assurance via a congratulatory message to commemorate the New Year's Day, January 1st, 2025, tasked Nigerians on hope renewal and optimism for a brighter future. While reflecting, on the significant progress made in the outgoing year, the lawmaker assured Nigerians that the new year will bring promise and possibility. Honorable Kalu expressed pride in the legislative milestones achieved in the past year, which according to him have laid the groundwork for a brighter future for Nigeria. The Deputy Speaker pledged his commitment to addressing pressing issues in the coming year, including economic development, job creation, healthcare, education and national security, adding that the House has at all times prioritized the passage of critical legislations that promote good governance, transparency and accountability. The Deputy Speaker reassured Nigerians that their voices will continue to be heard in the legislative process and urged citizens to remain hopeful and optimistic about the nation's future. He lauded Nigerians' resilience and determination, stating that together the country can overcome any obstacle and achieve greatness. The Deputy Speaker also urged the people to keep supporting the renewed agenda of President Bola Ahmed. Federal government has submitted the necessary documents for the extradition of pro-Biafran agitator Simon Ekpa to Nigeria, according to Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa. Speaking on 2024 Year in Review program on December 31st, 2024, Musa confirmed that Ekpa, arrested in Finland, is facing legal proceedings related to his alleged terror-related activities. Ekpa, a pro-Biafra agitator and secessionist, was arrested by Finland law enforcement on November 21. General Musa remarked, noting that the legal action is being pursued in accordance with international protocols. Analyst Ambassador Ekie C. Ekie, while speaking on ATN Blowout, questioned the affordability of the 2025 National and Ministry of Works budget and asked if the funds needed to carry out these projects were available. According to the analyst, his main concern is the feasibility and availability of the need funding.
Is the budget proposal affordable? Can we fund it? But to a very large extent, the budget for Ministry of Works is almost like the national budget for civil constructions, for road, for buildings, anything that has to do with civil. So in other words, it's not just the ministry that is presenting that budget. And of course, Mr. President has presented the holistic budget, capturing that of the Ministry of Works and all that. So the focus is that of the Ministry of Works today, right? Mm-hmm. So I have a little bit of worriedness. And that worriedness will also mean what Nigerians will be worrying also about. The amount that is being allocated for most of these projects, will it be visible? We're not trying.
Speaking further on the topic, Ambassador Okiye asks that due to the current economic situation of the country, the Ministry of Works should ensure that every appropriated resources for said projects be evidential.
Works should ensure that every appropriated resources, because right now as a country, we're going through a whole lot that needs finance. So anyone that is designated to any chunk of the projects, I want to believe that it will be evidential. The result will be there. So I do not want to interfere with the allocated resources, because I'm sure they have consulted engineers, they have done quotations, they have looked at the current prices of materials, or maybe they also shall have also looked at what they're expecting the market ratio for 2025 and then come up with that figures.
This comes as the Federal Ministry of Works budgeted 4 billion naira to construct a presidential helipad and a jetty in Lagos. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has warned Nigerians to desist from corrupt practices this year, 2025, and remain resolute in their fight against corruption. The chairman of the commission, Ola Olukoyede, who gave this warning on Tuesday, said the nation's progress and development depend on collective efforts to combat economic and financial crimes. The EFCC boss, in his New Year message to the citizens, stressed that rejecting corruption was key to improving the quality of life for all Nigerians and advancing the economy. The Anti-Graft Agency chair urged citizens to seize the opportunities the new year brings to recommit to values of transparency, accountability and integrity. Olukoyede assured Nigerians that the EFCC was poised to surpass its achievement in 2024, while promising that the officers will remain relentless in their pursuit of justice. He added that the 2025 will be another year of bringing towers of corruption down, and our focus is set and our commitment is total. Former People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar on Wednesday charged Nigerians to hold political office holders accountable. Atiku urged Nigerians to ensure that no political leader wields power unchecked in the year 2025. In his New Year's message, the former vice president said Nigerians must firmly restrain any attempts by the government to encroach on the fundamental human rights of citizens. According to Atiku, this new year marks the beginning of a momentous era, one of heightened public awareness and vigilance. Atiku noted that it is time when every Nigerian must closely observe the actions and decisions of our political leaders. He calls on every citizen to remain resolute in holding political leaders at every level of government accountable, noting they must ensure that no one wields unchecked power that could erode our liberties or exploit public office for personal gain. He urges all Nigerians to actively participate in safeguarding the principles of democracy. Atiku further stated that the vigilance of the citizenry is paramount in ensuring that those in leadership never abuse the power entrusted to them. He added that together they must firmly restrain any attempts by an overreaching government to encroach on the public good or the fundamental rights. And now to some business reports. President Bola Tinubu said yesterday the federal government hopes to bring down the price of food and promote local manufacturing of essential drugs and other medical supplies through the establishment of a national credit guarantee company in the new year. Tinubu, who disclosed this in his New Year nationwide broadcast to the nation, also asked states to key into the federal government's compressed national gas program to reduce the cost of transportation for Nigerians. The president equally said the youth confirmed he promised in the aftermath of the End Bad Governance bad governance protests across the country would begin in the first quarter of 2025 as a testament of his government's commitment to youth inclusiveness and investment as nation builders. This is the main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, charged the president not to taint the new year with an address that will not prefer immediate and concrete steps to reduce the price of fuel and address widespread hunger. According to the president, the new company, which is expected to begin operations before the end of the second quarter of the new year, is a partnership of government institutions, including the Bank of Industry, BOI, Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Agency, NSIA, the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, the private sector, and multilateral institutions. Tinubu noted that the initiative will strengthen the confidence of the financial system, expand credit access, and support underserved groups such as women and youth. Said the new company will expand risk-sharing instruments for financial institutions and enterprises. Nigerians withdrew 364.38 billion naira from banks in November 2024 amid the cash scarcity witnessed in many parts of the country. The latest data from the Money and Credit Statistics of the Central Bank of Nigeria revealed. CBN also stated that the currency outside banks surged to 4.65 trillion naira from 4.29 trillion naira in October, reflecting an 8.5% month-on-month increase. The bank further stated that the total currency in circulation climbed to 4.88 trillion naira in November, up by 328.91 billion naira on 7.2% compared to the previous month. These figures highlight the continued dominance of cash in the Nigerian economy, despite sustained efforts to promote cashless transactions. The November figure for currency outside banks represented a significant 51% year-on-year growth compared to 3.08 trillion in November 2023. Over the course of 2024, cash outside banks has shown consistent growth, starting at 3.28 trillion naira in January and peaking in November. In February, the figure rose to 3.41 trillion naira, a 4% increase from January, and further climbs to 3.63 trillion naira in March, reflecting a 6.3% increase. The CBN has further emphasized that all the denominations of the naira, including old and redesigned notes, remain legal tender. This clarification comes amidst public confusion over the validity of older naira notes. South Korea's exports grew at a faster pace in December, beating market expectations, and ended the year with a record performance, trade data showed on Wednesday. Through risk loom in the year ahead. Exports by Asia's fourth largest economy rose 6.6% in December from a year earlier, compared with a gain of 1.4% in November and 4.0% forecast in a survey of economists. It was the 15th consecutive month exports grew in annual terms and the fastest increase since September, after 4 straight months of slowing amid worries over U.S. trade policy changes. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has pledged to impose big tariffs on imports from 3 major trading partners, Mexico, Canada, and China, which are expected to affect South Korean firms running factories in those countries and weigh on global trade. Last year, South Korea's exports rose 8.2%, the fastest in 3 years after a fall of 7.5% in 2023. Shipments to China, which has been South Korea's biggest export market since 2023, rose 6.6% to $133.0 billion, while U.S.-bound shipments narrowed the gap by rising 10.5% to $127.8 billion. In December, exports to the United States rose 5.5%, the fastest since August, and posted a record monthly value of $11.9 billion. Exports to the European Union joined 15.1%, extending gains to a 5th month, while those to China rose 8.6%. Television networks still ahead. Ivory Coast President Alassane Ouattara said in an end-of-year speech that French forces will withdraw from the West African nation in January, making it the latest country to weaken military ties with the former colonial power. Ouattara said Tuesday that they can be proud of their army, whose modernization is now effective, noting that it is in this context that they have decided on the concerted and organized withdrawal of French forces from Ivory Coast. He added that the 43rd Bima Marine Infantry Battalion at Port Bouet in Abidjan, where French troops are currently stationed, will be handed over to Ivory Coast's armed forces as of January 2025. France has been preparing for years what it called a reorganization of military relations after the forced departure of its troops from Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger Delta, where governments hostile to the ex-colonial ruler have come to power. Last month, within hours of each other, Senegal and Chad announced the departure of French soldiers from their soil. On December 26, France returned a first military base to Chad, the last Sahel nation to host French troops. Ivory Coast remains an important ally of France. About 1,000 French soldiers were deployed to the 43rd BIMA to assist in particular with the fight against jihadists who regularly strike the Sahel region, as well as the north of some countries along the Gulf of Guinea. Ouattara also said in his year-end speech that the presidential elections slated for October 2025 would be peaceful as well as transparent and democratic. In office since 2010, Ouattara has not yet said whether he will seek a fourth term. Kiev said Tuesday that Russia had launched a barrage of drones and missiles across Ukraine, considering that there were successful strikes in the east of the country and near the capital. Authorities did not elaborate on what had been hit, but in the wider Kiev region, the governor said debris from a downed projectile had damaged a private home and wounded a woman. The Ukrainian Air Force said Russia had launched 21 missiles of various types of 40 drones in the barrage, that 7 missiles and 16 unmanned aerial vehicles were drowned. Russia has launched aerial attacks on Ukraine at night almost every day since its forces invaded in February 2022, targeting military and civilian infrastructure too, like energy facilities. Ukraine has stepped up its own drone and missile attacks inside Russian territory in response and urged its Western allies to supply more air defense systems. A Ukrainian drone attack in western Russia caused a fuel spill and fire at an oil depot in a Russian regional governor said earlier Tuesday. Saudi Arabia government has executed 6 Iranians sentenced for drug trafficking, the official Saudi press agency announced on Wednesday. The Iranians were put Saudi Arabia. The Ministry of Interior said in a statement published by the SPA without specifying the date of the executions. Riyadh has executed 117 people in 2024 for drug trafficking, according to an AFP tally of official figures. In 2023, the authorities in the Gulf monarchy launched a highly publicized anti-drug campaign involving a series of raids and arrests. The execution of traffickers has increased since the end of a moratorium on the use of the death penalty for drug charges 2 years ago. Saudi Arabia severed relations with Iran in 2016 after its embassy in Tehran and consulate in Mashhad were attacked by protesters angered by the execution of the Shiite cleric Nim al-Nim. Diplomatic ties were restored in March 2023 after a reapproachment brokered by China. Saudi Arabia conducted the world's third highest number of executions in 2023 after China and Iran, according to the Rights Group Assembly International, which has been documenting executions in the kingdom since the 1990s. The use of death penalty by Riyadh is regularly criticized by human rights groups. The Saudi authorities say the death penalty is necessary to maintain public order and is only used after all appeals have been exhausted. Now to our sports news. Premier League transfer window opened on Wednesday, January 1st, 2025. This will give clubs the chance to improve their squads for the remainder of 2024/2025 season and beyond. Teams will be able to make signings until the window closes at 11 p.m. on February 3rd, 2025. The transfer window will also be open to other divisions in England's Football League system and is the same in France and Germany. However, the winter window opens on January 2nd in Spain and Italy. La Liga's window closes at midnight local time in Spain, 11 p.m. and on February 3rd. League One clubs will have one less hour to make their signings when the window closes on February 3rd at 10 p.m. Business in the Bundesliga will end by 6 p.m. and Series A's window closes 2 hours later. Arsenal have confirmed that Josh Robinson has left the club to join League One side Wigan Athletic on a permanent transfer. This is coming ahead of Arsenal's Premier League away clash with Brentford on Wednesday evening. Robinson joined Arsenal's academy in March 2016 at the age of 11. He progressed at Hill End before signing his first professional contract with the club in July 2023. The 20-year-old has made 65 appearances for Arsenal's under-18 and under-21 sides. The versatile defender was rewarded with first-team involvement, featuring as an unused substitute in 4 of Arsenal's 6 UEFA Champions League phase games this season. To entertainment news, duo of Nigerian singers Wizkid and Ira Star have been ranked among the world's top artists of 2024 by chart data. The music monitoring platform released its list of top artists of 2024 on New Year's Eve, with Wizkid and Ira Star occupying the 11th and 18th positions, respectively. Another African singer, Tyler from South Africa, also made the list at number 12. In the top 10 are South Korean singer Jimin and American songbirds Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Sabrina Carpenter, Beyoncé, and rapper Kendrick Lamar. British sensation Charlie XCX, Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, and Nicki Minaj complete the top 10. Meanwhile, Davido, Wizkid, and Burna Boy have been listed in Active World's top 20 music global icons shaping the future. Davido appeared at number 3, while Wizkid and Burna Boy took the 6th and 8th spots on the list. And that's the size of the package for today. Thanks for joining us. I am Francis Necker. You can follow us on all our social media platforms, on Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Remember, peace and unity are the pathways to progress.